Welcome to Two Steps Back with Nicole and Cat. Whee! It's a podcast. Hello, everybody. Ay, that was too loud. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is the Two Steps Back podcast. Woo! We have audience impact 10% over here. Go, Theo. Bark away.
Wag na.
So, the episode we have for today is bougie or bougie. So, it's all about the consumerism that is consuming us. You know, luxury goods that we see flaunted all over social media, from unboxings to hauls. And I feel like it's a trend that has escalated a lot in the recent years. How do we feel about it? Were there influencers we unfollowed because of it? You know, because makakain ka talaga ng sistema when it comes to consumerism.
True.
So we need to figure out the principles or values that we need to instill in terms of our buying preferences, our buying habits, especially when this is in correlation to our satisfaction, our contentment, our
and
happiness
also the way we're
in
perceived.
life. Yeah, social status, self-esteem. It's a whole thing. But we have some stories for you guys because, you know, me and Kat are known as a kuripot besties as well. So we want to flesh out the issues surrounding this, like what is a healthy consumption of luxury goods, for example, and, you know, just buying luxury goods for the sake of keeping up. So we're gonna share our experiences with you guys.
And I'm also so curious, like, perhaps we kind of live in a bubble, but I'm curious if you guys also are aware of like the reality behind luxury influencing.
Do you have reality that you will share to us?
Yeah, I want to share because I
sige.
like, you know, when you see all these hauls and all these new products and never repeated outfits and designer brands, like, let's pull back the curtain on that a little bit.
Especially since si Kat, you are a brand ambassador for a lot of luxury brands as well. So, pero at the same time, you exhibit this lifestyle that is more mindful. So
Yeah, because I'm very mindful, very cutesy. So like I think it's an interesting to talk about because social media really engrosses like so much of our day-to-day life. Like especially excuse me. This is my new microphone. Hello. I feel like we have gone past the stage where we can avoid social media being used as a way to size up people or kind of give our first impressions on people. Like it's the way that people are like, oh yeah, that's how much money they make, or that's how busy they are, that's how booked and busy and earning they are because of what they're flaunting on social media. And I feel like also our tolerance in terms of flaunting has really changed because maybe go back to say like 7 years ago, if you saw someone doing these unboxings and luxury hauls, I feel like the majority would be like, ang yabang naman. But now it's so normalized. Like, and like these huge hauls of makeup and stuff. Like, it's so normal, but I feel like it's kind of not normal. But that's just how. Do you agree? Because I have so much stuff, I know. I think it's interesting to have this discussion because, like, I probably wouldn't change my spending habits if I go back to my younger self. Because, like you said, we are quite on the practical side of things. Not that we don't own luxury goods that we've bought with our own money and also been gifted some things as well. But I just want to kind of, I don't know, talk to maybe the younger audiences as well and see what their attitudes are around luxury and like what also our opinions are as we're going in this direction. Because from a brand point of view, I think we've all seen that it's really exploded since pandemic. I feel like luxury brands are really pushing out content. They're utilizing not only influencers but also celebrities to push their products. And also, like, of course, we're trying to sell to a consumer, which are you guys. and also in a way us, because we're consuming it as well. So like, how does that echo like towards our lifestyles and our spending habits and everything?
It's interesting that you mentioned the pandemic din. Kasi doon talaga ako na baba din sa YouTube because you have the time now. And then nagulat nga ako na it's all luxury hauls. And I'm like, wow, how much money do these people make? Am I in the wrong profession? And I did unfollow an influencer nung pandemic because she would do these unboxings habang naka-quarantine tayong lahat na parang paano? Kumikita ba tayo ng pera during the pandemic itself? Pero she would say na parang mga second hand, yun ganun. Pero kasi I followed this influencer in the beginning because she's this inspirational na vlogger-ish. Basta parang very health-directed yung content niya. Tapos biglang nag-shift to that. So I was like, parang medyo hindi yun yung content that I need right now. So medyo parang,
Yeah.
Pero at the same time, yun yung napapa-browse ka din because you don't have anything to do na parang since yun yung algorithm that time, it's like, oh, is it time to buy one? Ganon.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the very beginning when we didn't really have a penny on us. Tapos meron tayong encounters with these luxury goods. How did we perceive it when we were younger?
Oh my gosh, I always put like luxury goods very low on the priority list. Like practicality wise, like I just wanted to cover my rent, my living expenses. And then after that, it was like investing in myself. So like whether that be education or reading materials or extracurricular
materials.
To satisfy the spending habits. Because books are expensive, guys.
Oh, that's
Don't
true.
get us wrong. They're very expensive.
I had to unsubscribe to Netflix because I was paying for too many books.
Diba? Mahal
Yeah.
ang mga books. It's an expensive hobby. So like I can say I did not buy my first luxury bag until I was 26 years old. Same ka?
Halos the same. Mga 26, 27? Yeah.
Because I just couldn't justify like paying $7,000 to $5,000 on a luxury bag. Like I get it can be an investment, but like
It's not.
yeah. But that's people's rhetoric, right? It's like it's an investment.
It's girl math.
Yeah, actually. Whatever it does to make you feel better.
Yeah.
But it was like more of a milestone for me, that first purchase of like I can actually buy this for myself with like everything that I've achieved up to that point. And that theme has continued until now. I only buy myself luxury goods if I'm celebrating a milestone. So like my pinaka last purchase was a Dior bag when I sang at an international Dior event, which is a big deal for me. So yun, that's how I kind of justify those purchases. But I also need to see the practicality. Like it needs to be something that I will use, not that would just sit on a shelf and look pretty, or that I'll wear once and then it'll never be worn for another year or something. Ayun, so I would justify the purchases with something significant that happened in my life. And until now. Because, yeah, it's a lot of money.
My first purchase was a Prada bag, I think. Na on sale. Tapos nung pumunta tayong Prada again in Florence, nagulat sila na limited edition pala yun or something. And I'm like, I didn't know. I just bought it through an online seller. Ganon.
Okay. I missed out on that interaction. Was that the sales clerk you're talking to in
Yeah,
Chinese?
oo. She was like, where'd you get this bag? It's limited edition. Pero I got it super sale price.
Galing.
Ganon. When I started purchasing designer or luxury items, natuwa yung mom ko because it means na for her as a mom, parang she can afford it na. Like she worked enough to be able to get her own luxury bag na without them ever having to give me anything to pay for it or even partial wala. So parang for a mom na parang wow, she's finally splurging. But this was like after how many years na nakikita niyang kuripot ako. Na parang wow, finally. Ganong point na. Yeah. So yun yung first purchase ko ng luxury item. Pero inuna ko talaga was a house. So I have my own place and then yung car. Kasi I was using yung Honda Jazz na car na hand-me-down ng dad ko for so long. And then I asked for permission to sell it and then get a new car. So, after those two, tsaka lang ako nag-allow ng sarili ko to buy a luxury item. Because feeling ko, it's money that will die.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I agree. I have that same mindset, but I think it's just really fascinating now na, especially, well, I guess napansin ko sa mga mas younger than us, like they really strive to have like those wardrobes full of those bags and the shoes.
Yeah.
Or parang I guess that's that, baka napansin ko na parang yung correlation between what is perceived as you doing well is owning a lot of those things. Yeah.
So, if you're in that stage din na parang, you know, you need to save up for bigger things pa, pero you're still here. Just take it one day at a time, one job at a time, one paycheck at a time, you know. Like, it doesn't have to be today. Diba? And who knows, maybe hindi na yun yung maging standard of happiness mo after how many years.
Yeah.
Which I hope yun
happens,
is that case. Kasi I wouldn't want to be attached to that.
It's so hard because you can never be satisfied.
Yeah.
You really can never satisfy that because there's always something new. There's always something else to buy, something else to be sold. Like, it's never ending. It's the consumer society that we live in. So, yeah, just trying to pull yourself out of that because it's so easy to be influenced. It really is. And we're exposed to so much consumerism. So, just be a mindful consumer.
Yep. And siguro parang it's become more accessible also now.
Oo. Pero ang
before
mahal
kasi
pa
parang
rin.
ang intense na parang, wow, kung naka-purchase ka ng ganong goods, it's because you have such an ability to travel. Pero now, siguro bigla rin ang daming online sellers.
That's true.
Or buyers.
It's definitely become more accessible.
I think yun din yun. Oo. So, some people, I think, also get to purchase first even before traveling. Kasi tayo, we purchase our luxury goods and well, ako, magkasama tayo. When we're in Europe, kasi malaking discount.
Yeah.
More of like, andun na tayo.
Tax refund.
Tax refund. Ganon. Pero there are, yung mga nako-consume kong content during the pandemic din was, ayun nga, yung mga haul talaga, na parang, how? Pero, ayun nga, if I would instill something talaga in the viewers now, if you're someone who feels frustrated na napapressure ka to get your first luxury item, ganon. I mean, it's a nice milestone naman. Pero, believe me, pagka you get all your finances settled already, like you may house ka, may car ka, kasi kesa naman pipilitin mong bumili, tapos may utang ka pala sa labas,
or my credit card outstanding, ganon.
Oo, na parang tagal mong mababayaran, di mo ma-enjoy yung ganong bagay. Tapos, after 1 year, kung gamit ka ng gamit, like yung Chanel wallet, ganon, it looks haggard na. Yung ganon, like, it fades. Yeah,
and I was having
fades.
Yeah, true. And I was having a conversation with someone na parang yung workmanship na, yung mga bags and wallets and shoes, iba na. Like, I feel like the vintage resale value or the vintage passed down value of the things now aren't as good as the older ones.
Right.
Kasi like, I own 2 designer bags na nasira agad. Like, yung stitching. And it's just like, this is you pay that much for it.
Like, tapos sila pa yung mas mahirap gamitin kasi mas vulnerable siya to external factors.
Yeah, or the weather, or...
Yeah, kasi lambskin, ganito, ganyan. Pero there was a time when I wasn't capable of buying those things pa lang na I was just starting out. Ito, pageantry pa lang. Mating sa point na parang, how do people even earn enough money
and to buy that stuff at
survive.
that point?
Oo, tapos hindi ko pa ma-consider yun kasi like, I'm living from paycheck to paycheck lang. Tapos I would see like my industry friends na nakakabili sila kaagad, na ang dami-dami na head to toe, ano na sila, everything iba-iba yung handbag. So parang, how?
Diba?
Tapos I felt so frustrated noon kasi parang, hindi, mararanasan ko ba ever yung feeling na yun, na makakabili ako anytime. Tapos I would go out na walang brand yun bag ko or backpack lang ako. Yung ganun lang. Kasi backpack person din naman ako before. Ay, kasi yung iPad, laptop, everything. Oh yeah, ma-backpack ka nga rin dati.
Until now, actually.
Until now, yeah. Tapos, I didn't grow up din na for example, yung lola ko, very non-brand siya. Gusto niya yung mga local ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, parang hindi ako ganun ka-exposed.
Right, sa environment.
Oo.
But is that something you aspired to back in those days when like you were still trying to like earn for yourself? It was like
Super.
luxury goods on the list of things like, would be nice if I have the money to be able to buy those
Super.
things.
Oo. Only because I felt pressured then. Na I didn't look as successful as the friends I'm surrounded with because I don't have any labels on me.
And actually, that's something that I experienced when I moved here. Because it's not that way, say, in Australia. Like, so I wasn't exposed to brands at all growing up. Like, it was not something that I was, like, seeing in my media even, or even on TV. Even if I watched Gossip Girl back then, hindi ko alam yung mga brand na yan.
Yeah.
Or, like, the seeding in, like, fashion stuff. Like, wala akong talagang alam. But then when I moved here to the Philippines as a teenager, parang talagang ang laki ng correspondence between how people perceive you and your success and your earning capacity to how you dress and what you're dressed in.
Yeah.
Na hindi pwede na quiet luxury na walang branding. Like, mas madala kung may brand ka dito, may brand sa bag. Hindi pwede na branded naman yung item pero walang masyadong halata ng logo or something. Gusto talaga ng logo lahat.
Logo mania.
Yeah.
Palakihan kayo na LV, ng H.
Oo, diba?
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so interesting kasi parang medyo fresh-eyed ako dyan. I was like, oh. At first, medyo na-cringe ako kasi it's like, kailangan ba i-show off yun? But then as I spent more time here, it really is ingrained in the culture. Like, self-perception is a very important thing to people in general. And that's why I feel like the luxury market has found such a foothold here. Because it's not just, you're not selling workmanship. You're not selling like a brand's history. You're selling the perception it gives of yourself to other people.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting because now social media, like it's multiplied on social media. There's a lot of use of, influencers, local celebrities. I mean, we kind of fall into that category as well, doing some branding as well, work with different brands. But I am wanting to shed a bit of light on the reality of what influencing in luxury actually is. And the same goes for other influencers, ex-celebrities who are modeling for a brand, maybe inside an actual luxury store. Usually pull out lang yun. Usually as well, the majority of the time, walang bayad yung mga content na yan.
Oo, kasi parang they're doing you a favor pa ganon.
It's for the association with the brand. Yeah. So, it's really interesting to me kasi parang it's almost like selling an illusion of luxury, but then it's not actually owned. Sometimes. I mean, other times, they really go out of their way to buy it. And sometimes they are paid to post that type of content, but alam ko personally, there's a lot of influencers and local celebrities that do it just for the brand association. And I think it's an interesting thing to disclose kasi you are selling like the idea that, yes, I own this and I put my money here. But really, you didn't.
Yeah. And I think that's a nice tag to do. You know how they put yung hashtag ad? We don't do that here eh.
Yeah, and we should. Because it increases awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, just consumer awareness. I think that we should know when something's being sold to us or if someone's benefiting from sharing information or showing a product. Because it also allows you to take into context, like, how are they positioning this for their audience? Are they really trying to sell something? Are they benefiting from this?
Yeah.
Just transparency lang.
Yun real talk lang. Kasi siguro iniisip din ng mga viewers na, wow, they get so much. Yung illusion na yun, the illusion of abundance.
Yes. Yeah. And then they'll associate that with like, oh, when I have 1 million followers, or if I win this competition, or if I have this teleserie and made this name for myself, etc., then I'll be able to afford all of that luxury. Diba? It really crosses over, but it's just, it might not necessarily be the case. Yeah.
That's super tip of the iceberg.
It really is.
Super tip of the iceberg. Pero, yun din yung I made a conscious habit of differentiating myself. Kasi kunwari, I could base my worth or status in the industry by always carrying around a new designer bag, ganon. Kahit na hindi ako masyadong nakakapag-ipon, there's that route to go
No,
to
there definitely is.
Oo. Tapos, pero when I was feeling discontent while seeing those things, yung mga luxury stuff, parang na-realize ko na, wait, do I actually want it? Or is it just because everybody else seems to want it?
Yeah.
So I had to make a conscious effort then na, what is my standard of happiness? How can I say that I'm truly happy? Diba? Kasi parang sometimes feeling mo, when I get this, I'll feel more successful, I'll be happier, pero you see it too often, you forget na it's not your own thoughts. Yung ganon, it's not your own wants.
Yeah.
Especially yung habits natin sa social media right now is we like being told what to buy.
Yeah.
Diba?
We like to be influenced.
We like to be influenced. That's why I'm on TikTok all the time. I want to be told what to crave so that I can cook. Yung mga things as small as
beauty
that.
products.
Beauty
or yung mga
products.
travel hacks or hacks in general. Mga ganyan na bagay. Oo.
So it's important talaga to make a list of yung hierarchy of happiness mo. Kasi very misleading din yung if you anchor it on material things or luxury goods or items.
Maybe we can tell like our audience, like, what does it look like to have that hierarchy like shuffled up? Like, for example, what is the consequence of having, owning certain things or materialistic things at the top?
It'll skew your priorities.
Yeah, it really will.
Financially.
And I also feel that even if you were to accumulate all of those things, in like a week's time, a month's time, a season's time, there are
May
new
bago
things
na
to be
naman.
acquired. That's why I'm heat up with trends at the moment. Trends are so fast moving and fast paced. Like, that's why fast fashion is becoming such a big thing at the moment, because like there is just so many things that are uso or in, or like that your favorite celebrity's wearing, or like, what's the trend at the moment. The hard part with that is like it's ever changing and you can really never keep up, or to be a hell of an expensive exercise to try to keep up with that.
Yeah.
And you'll end up owning things that you'll look back in maybe a year or 5 years time and you'll never have used them.
Yeah.
Or they'll just be sitting there. You burnt money on them and then you didn't actually love them. It was just the in thing at that moment. And I think a funny reminder of that is like if you see those trends, those videos of like trends you wish to never come back. This one, I don't know if you would relate to this. Do you remember the Jeffrey Campbell like heel boot? And it had spikes and stuff all over it. And it was that weird shape. No, but I wanted them so bad. I was like, they look so... And now I look back on it and I'm like, that's ugly. Like,
Thank God.
Thank God I didn't have the money for that to buy it. But like, just those are just examples. Like, so it's nice to actually find things that you really like. But of course your preferences will change. But when you're spending that much money on it...
Yung excessive consumerism already.
Yes.
Na, I think this is a good moment to reflect na, is that something you would like to aspire to or look up to? Kasi we scroll so fast sa social media that we don't get to really reflect and to question. Hindi tayo all the time yung intentional scrollers or browsers eh.
Yeah.
So we get molded real fast.
Yeah, that's true. But ang hirap din kasi parang it requires so much intentional energy to have to process on everything you see. So it's forgivable naman.
Warrior conscience right now speaking. Hello. So, pagka in terms of yung mindful purchasing naman, because kami ni Kat, nag-ano rin kami, we still indulge ourselves to some shopping.
Yeah.
When we see a great deal, when we happen to be in Europe, and we actually really, really, really like something. Yun. Pero, ano yung mga standards mo na lang? When you purchase something, Like yung mga questions you ask yourself.
Questionable questions.
Yeah.
One, it has to be, do I actually like this? And then I will really think about it. Like, and my standard is might be different for other people, but like I have to really want it. I can't just be like, oh yeah, that's pretty. Like I have to be like, I don't want to leave without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be that kind of like want. Like I want this. And sometimes I'll even leave the store and walk around. Like, you know how people say, I'll just be back. And then they never come back. No, I really do come back if I want it. But I like to think about it because I can have the tendency to be impulsive. Especially when you're paying through a credit card. Like, it just feels like magic. Like, money.
For now, until it becomes a nightmare when you get home.
I know. Right? Especially if you're traveling. You're just like, swipe the card. It's magic.
Don't drink the champagne they offer you while you're swiping.
Yeah, that's a tactic for sure. Hey.
Sinasabi ko before na after swiping, pero like, no.
I know, and then they're giving you like pretty flowers and stuff and snacks. I was like,
that's the service you also pay for upon
Yeah.
purchasing a luxury item.
yeah. So definitely I have to really like it. And then second, I have to be able to envision myself wearing it because the thing is with luxury, like it's worth a lot. So I can't really imagine myself buying like a $15,000 necklace because I'd be terrified to leave the house in it. Or like a bracelet that you need someone else to help you put it on. Like, you know, like it's not very, very practical. But I mean, that's just me. I would want something that I'm actually going to get a lot of wear out of. So like things that are more everyday rather than special occasion, I'll be more likely to spend on because I can see the ROI, the return of investment. Kaya nung nag-Florence kami ni Nicole and then pumasok kami sa Prada and she found these pair of shoes, ako talaga sinabi na, go! ROI mo yan at ROI naman siya.
Sobra ROI.
Yes.
As in...
Kaya nga, those are my two qualifications.
Yun din yung question ko sa sarili ko. Like, how often can I use these events, content, or photo shoots?
Yes.
Yun. Like, will I be able to use these to death? Like, yung tipong to the point na pasira na siya, ganon. Di ba?
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, parang minsan, does the design justify the purchase? Because, in other words, can I find a cheaper version of this that no one would know the difference between?
Kailangan unique siya to the brand talaga. Without it being a screamy logo mania,
Unless that's
thing.
your thing.
Unless that's your thing.
Yeah. Yun.
Yeah.
Ikaw, sis, what are your qualifications?
If it's within my budget,
Yeah, of course.
diba? Kasi when I travel to Europe, syempre, andun na rin naman yung shopping district. Para okay, ito yung the budget I'm setting for myself, yung willingness to spend.
Ang
Hanggang
hirap
dun
din
lang.
kasi kapag traveling ka, you're like, this isn't available in my country. Like, maybe I can only buy it here. Ganon.
Yeah. Tapos yung selections pa. Tsaka yung tax refund talaga. Yun. Pero, I really end up, once I purchase, I really end up using them so much. Like, so much. And then, I guess I also don't have the urge to buy the next one.
Yeah.
Like, kailangan talaga, dun talaga ako sa discount. If I'm not in Europe, tas walang incentive for me, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Kahit na 2-3 years na ako hindi bumibili ng luxury item, I'm fine with it. I'm not the type to itch
Ako din.
about it.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of yung conscious alignment nga of your own goals.
Yeah.
Tsaka siguro kasi after I purchased my first few pieces na, parang at first, amuyin mo from the box, parang, Chanel. Iba talaga pag Chanel. Parang na-heal yung ailments ko. Charot.
Sana nga sa price point nila.
Yeah,
Mag-heal lahat.
it
May
should solve your
kasamang
problems.
horoscope, lotto numbers. Charot.
Yeah, ganon. Pero, after nun, parang, once you wear it 3-4 times, it becomes such a normal thing na parang, okay, ito na yun. Yung na-wear off yung sparkle of it being a new thing.
Yeah.
And siguro kasi when I was a kid, hindi rin ako yung tipong I need to have the newest toy. It's a practice then of just purchasing what you want.
Yeah, and not
Kasi
giving into peer pressure.
Yeah, oo. Tapos, I think because it really helps if you have a bigger goal. So parang kasi kunwari ito, may house, may car. tapos okay pwede na ako mag-luxury items, I can keep spending on luxury items, pero now I want more investments in bigger items na hindi short-term yung returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more of that. And then siguro yung tip lang din is yung per category na purchase lang. Like I have a party bag for events that I attend. I have a semi-casual, everyday, dressy bag, yung ganon. And then a nighttime bag, and then a work bag. Yun yung categories ko for designer.
Mas practical kasi ng mindset na yan. At least it's
and you're
able
sure
to be spaced out between your day.
Right.
Or like your lifestyle.
Yung ano talaga, hindi lang yun you buy it para you can put it in a glass case to stare at it.
I really don't understand that talaga.
Unless you're a freaking billionaire, fine.
And you can just like throw away money. Pero parang if you're working for your they also work for their money.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Parang if you put more value on like where you put your money, then I just don't understand like just to look at it. Naging decor. But there are people out there who will spend like on home decor that are like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So to each their own. It really depends saan ka na justify yung mga spending nyo. Pero I guess our point that we're trying to really encapsulate is sana the justification of purchasing something that falls within the luxury category doesn't come from the motivations of wanting to perceive a certain way or to giving into peer pressure. Because having financial freedom really opens up so many opportunities for you. It takes off so much load from your mental health. And it allows you to pursue other opportunities as well, to either further your education or, to buy yourself, your own dwellings, your own house, or to travel.
Maybe a beach house, diba?
Yeah.
Kung may house ka na, tas you don't know where to put your money in, or next bigger goal that will force you to save up.
Yes.
I'm curious then, as someone na, you endorse, you're an ambassador for luxury brands. Parang, ano yung, when you're there, diba? And then you're also like a kuripot girly.
Yeah.
How do you practice that? Yung mas mindful like an advice you would give to the consumers?
I mean, one, I have to, again, justify the value of the product. Because, like, for example, like a canvas bag versus a leather bag.
Oh, yeah.
Iba talaga. I mean, like, the cost of material alone, there's a huge discrepancy. But then, the cost of the selling is almost the same. So, I guess allowing the products to align, again, with what you like and what is justifiable for you. But always staying true to your tastes. Like ako, if you look at my wardrobe, you'll see that maybe I have 20% things are luxury, but the 80% is local like affordable bracket, I would say, products. And I love to mix and match. Like, I love luxury with local. I've never really aspired to be all luxury. And even if it is, like, I don't want it to be like I'm perceived as well-dressed because I'm covered in labels.
Yeah.
But I'm perceived to be well-dressed because of how I've put together my outfit. And, I feel like I really put intention to putting these pieces together. It's not about this is this brand, this is that brand, and this is this brand. So it's more like I like beautiful things, but not necessarily because they have a label attached. And in working with these brands, that's what I keep in mind too. So you guys will notice when I attend luxury events, like I might use a luxury bag, but I'll wear a local designer dress. Or I'll reuse my designer pair of shoes like until they die. Because I just, I understand the pressure also on public figures to not be repeating things, like repeating outfits, I mean. But I think it's nice messaging to give to the audience to show like you can repurpose an item over and over and over again, and that's a mindful purchase. Rather than kind of selling the idea like, oh, every day there's a new designer item and I'll never use this same bag again. And it's like, but that's like a $8,000 bag. Like, I don't know. It feels like a fantasy. And maybe that's a fantasy people aspire to like have an $8,000 bag and wear it once and never wear it again just for that gram picture. But I think a good question to ask yourself is like, if this never made it to social media, would I want to still purchase this item? I think that's an interesting question to kind of gauge why you want to purchase that thing.
That's true. Yeah, I like that point also.
I think it's different now. Like the whole idea of flexing on social media, I think it's just so interesting to me because I don't know. I feel like it's really new. I mean, I think relatively new. Like even unboxings, like PR hauls, I kind of get because
You have to. It's given to you as a
it's
gift.
the reciprocation of the brand sending it
Yeah.
to you, so it's like what you give in return. But if you buy something with your own money, and then you go ahead and unbox it online, like
yeah.
it's like flexing it,
Uh-oh.
which is like more widely accepted now. I just think it's a very curious thing.
It's a fetish.
It is.
Diba?
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who maybe wants to save up for their first luxury purchase?
Get everything else out of the way first. Really. Yun. Yung tipong hindi mo napagkakait yung napag-ipunan mo sa mga pinangangailangan ng pamilya mo. Wag na wag mo utangin.
Yeah.
If it's gonna send you into debt, no. Kahit na ilang gives pa yan. Nope. It just means you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Diba? It's a nice motivation to work harder towards something. Kasi maybe that's attainable compared to like a house or a car. Diba? Tapos, kasi syempre fraction lang naman yung luxury item of those bigger investments.
Right.
Yeah, pero last on the list talaga yun yung masasabi ko. Definitely last on the list. Pero, another behavior or another attitude that I want to put a finger on is, ako personally, I don't read people anymore based on what they're wearing and what they're buying. Hindi good gauge of a person's financial standing and lalo na credibility. I don't know why it's been associated. I mean, I get why it's associated na credibility based on kasi feeling mo they're rich, they can pay it off.
And they're
you
rich
know.
because they're maybe good at what they do or whatever.
Oo, pero it's not a
Good gauge.
yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah.
As in.
Yeah, tas once I got rid of that perception din, kasi when we were kids, ganun tayo eh, na parang, uy, nakakabili yung classmate ko ng Zara, ganun. Syempre, wala pa tayong pera nun, Zara siya, ganun. So, parang, ang yaman mo naman.
Oo.
Ganun. So, ngayon, parang I got to unlearn that behavior, especially since I've been exposed to those truths then. And then one time, a friend of mine who's super ma-brand talaga na friend, medyo na-pressure ako kasi when they would invite me sa parties, they would bring out the big guns. And then ako, parang, wala akong designer, ganun, parang, tapos sila, alam mo yung look nila, sobra elevated, ganun. Tapos, parang, syempre, you will feel kinda out of place. Siya yung, non-designer brand. Pero, after how many years, parang sabi niya sa akin, napansin ko, hindi ka ma-brand na tao, like designer na tao, pero you invest in the things that really matter.
I think we're the same like that.
Oo. Tapos parang, I thought lang na since this person put so much value in designer stuff, na yun lang talaga yung gauge niya. Tapos yun pala nakikita nila na
Yung value sa ibang
oo,
bagay.
yung value in other things. Kasi yun naman yung hindi natin gaano napag-uusapan. Mas straightforward kasi na, oh, she got a new bag.
Kasi fashion is almost like your not armor, but also how you want the world to perceive you. It really does play that part. Pero yeah, sometimes it can get really drawn out in a way that's like, the judgment, it's like the only standing judgment that's there. Sometimes it's not even pushed aside. It's like, oh, let's get to know this person. Especially in an industry that's really all about first impressions and things like that.
And when you talk to people, like, kunwari may introduce kang tao sa friend mo or kakilala mo, ganun na parang, oh, she's the one who has this bag na rare. Ganun na ngayon.
Yeah, it's become like a status symbol.
Identity talaga.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I mean, if you look back in history at like how the classes used to like distinct their different like hierarchies with like the way that they dress and like the way that they would spend on things like that. So I mean, it's nothing new, but it's just really interesting to see how it's reshaping and now in the modern age.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really does become almost like a calling card. Like if you have like this really nice bag, people are like, oh my god,
Kasi parang 8 people in the world have it lang. And she's one of the 8 people.
Crazy, no?
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Like, I remember I used to get so bothered by these comments that I would get after I won Miss Universe. The car that I bought, the building I bought my first house in, hindi nakaka-Miss Universe yan.
May ganun?
Oo. And I was just like, why would I
What was the car that you bought?
Oh, the one that I have now.
Ha? May ganun?
Yeah, they're like, dapat Alphard na yan, or like something mas high-end. And I was like, but practicality-wise, it doesn't make sense. Or yung unit naman, like I got my unit at a really good deal, and I love this place. But just because of the building itself, it's not one of the more expensive ones. But I could not justify, like, am I going to spend more for a smaller space? And then, I'm like, we're practical over here, but just that's people's perception sometimes. Like, oh, we associate who you are with this type of like branding.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me because I was like, why are you commenting on these things? It's so out of touch. It's so weird, but it's so normalized
But
here.
where would you get those comments? Social media or people?
These like people.
Oh.
I swear it's so strange.
Medyo crazy to hear it out loud from someone.
Yeah. Super. And I was like, is that okay in your brain to say that to someone?
Yeah.
Ang weird talaga. Ang weird.
Kaya sabi ko, online ba to? But these are people
No, this is
in person.
Yeah, it's weird. No, it's super weird. So, like, I feel like even if it's not said, people are drawing up different judgments into, like, the things that you wear. And how you dress yourself. But I think you can always dress yourself at a budget that works for you and still give a same impression. Maybe not the, oh my God, what an expensive bag impression, but like, oh wow, they really present themselves well and they've put effort into their, yung tsura nila, yung like pagdating nila. Like, there can always be like that pleasant impression.
Can I just say, when I attend events, kasi I buy from this online platform lang. Kasi parang feeling ko it's just, by the way, this online platform, ano pa siya, mas naglalast pa yung damit ko than the bigger fashion houses. As in, laging sira. Anyway. Pero like these people in designer clothes and stuff, they will ask me, oh my God, it's so cute. Where did you get that? And I'll just be like, I forgot. Matagal na kasi to sa akin eh. Pero kasi I would pair, kunwari yung online platform dress lang yon with a designer bag.
Yeah.
So parang it's high-low.
Yeah.
Ganun lang. Parang hindi ako magre-rely on a designer look. Pero like, so, and they're not even saying it in a mean girl way na parang, oh my God, your bracelet's so cute. Where'd you get it?
Mean
Tas
girl.
biglang, yeah, the reference, if you know, you
Self-fetch.
know. So parang, yeah.
No, but that's true. And I think that's why sometimes it's hard for me to justify certain purchases, especially in the realm of clothing. Because sometimes when you feel the fabric, you're like, I swear, like you could buy this at another place for like a fraction of the price.
Or magpagawa ka na lang sa local designer ng mas maganda pa.
Totoo. Especially
Diba?
like when I go to Australia, because Australian brands are lovely, but like the medium price point of like a dress is like $75 to $150. It's like, it's high. And then sometimes when I feel that fabric, I'm like, I swear this is some cheap damn fabric. Like you could get this made for like a fraction of it back home.
Yeah.
With a local designer. And so that really like puts me off on spending sometimes. So I think it's a good thing to educate yourselves on like what is the tell of a well-made garment, like to know what to look out, especially like, for example, quality of zippers, quality of stitching.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're going to spend your money on something, even if it's just $30, $15, 100 pesos, that's a bit too low, like 400 pesos to like 1,500 all the way up to 5,000. I mean, it's money at the end of the day. So knowing and feeling like safe in your purchase that you've done, like purchase something that's good quality, I think is a good thing. And there's so many online resources now. Like there's so many TikTok accounts
Yeah.
That's where I get really sucked into. Like there's one, he will cut up designer bags.
Oh yeah.
And he'll tell you the type of leather, the material, the labor cost, and everything. And he'll tell you how much it would take to make the bag and how much they retail for. And I'm just like, oh my gulay.
Yeah.
Like,
you really get it for the name. Yeah.
yeah, but it's crazy. It's really, and there's other accounts that show like, oh, let's go into the store and check the make of these clothes. Like, I would never purchase this because look at the stitching. It's gonna like really get damaged over time. Da, da, da. And I just think that's that's such a good thing to educate yourself on. Because I mean, just being mindful in general, no matter if you're spending really big or really small. I mean, it's money at the end of the day that you've spent your time to get.
Yeah. And I think this is a really interesting conversation to strike up with you. Kasi parang in your lane, you are already there. Like in the luxury lane.
I am.
Na
And
parang you're
I've
not
definitely
a
felt the
consumer
pressure.
lang, You're also like a brand ambassador. So parang we would think na whatever you can get your hands on, you just do.
But I'm super mindful. I really, really am.
It's very mindful.
Very mindful. Very cutesy. But yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily when people don't own luxury that they can't afford it. It's just where they choose to spend their money. And ako naman, like, I really love mixing, like you just mentioned, like a really expensive piece with like local pieces. I just think, I don't know, I find more joy in that. And because at the end of the day, like money gives you so much freedom. And I think being mindful with your money is always a good quality. And I always want to be authentic to myself. That's why I don't think I'll ever end up as a super luxury girly. So you can see like most of the brands that I work with are a mix of high end to low end because that's a reflection of me as a person. Like, hindi ako branded na tao. I mean, you've seen me and known me for how long, and I'm still the same as I was like 7 years ago. But I like beautiful things, whether that be at a low price point or a high price point.
So there are these values lang that we would like to detangle from the perception that luxury goods give, such as yun nga, respect, credibility, and self-worth.
Yeah.
Diba? So, ano lang, like, if you are someone who's feeling pressured right now, or you feel unhappy because you cannot purchase your happiness, do not be. Sometimes it's just a matter of realigning your values. And yung siguro more intentional talaga na yung algorithm mo. Na, you know, is this something that will make you feel happy, or every time it crosses your feed, you feel triggered and more unhappy about yourself? Diba?
Have you felt yourself be triggered as of late in this kind of category of like
As of late?
Because I mean, from our conversations, we're quite the same, and like we've had that change of mindset growing up. Like we don't really see people for their brands and stuff. But do you get triggered anymore?
Not really. Not anymore. I think I have successfully detached myself. Yeah, yun lang talaga. Tapos with the roster that I have now, with my luxury items, parang I'm happy na.
I think once you get to the reshaping of the mindset, that's when it really frees you.
Yeah.
From like the negative things that come along with the perception with luxury and owning nice things. But yeah, I hope that this episode also sheds a bit of light that can also educate you guys to also see that there is more to a person than the amount of their outfit. Yeah. Because it doesn't make them any better or worse of a person if they're fully branded. It doesn't make them any better or worse if they don't have a single brand and they thrift stock. I'm like ukay. Like it shouldn't really be a reflection of the person's like who they are and what they can bring to the table and also to their job and their capabilities. It just it's how they want to spend their money.
I admire a person na hindi galante. Yun yung tawag namin sa ano yung overly luxurious. Ganon din. Yung hindi galante pero their affairs are all in order.
Yeah, and everyone's taken care of.
Oo. So, at the end of the day, I think like know what you prioritize talaga in life.
Mm-mm. And wag sana kayo mabudol sa mga trends, especially kapag luxury items.
Yeah.
Kasi sana it's something that you can really take ownership of with pride and hopefully look back years later and be like, I love this purchase. I mean, it's not going to happen 100% of the time. Maybe you're going to look back and be like, I don't like this purchase. I have them. Yung first bag na binili ko para sa sarili ko, yung luxury bag, I've worn it maybe like I can count on 2 hands. And that for me is not an ROI. But I have other ones that I've used to death and still really love. So yeah, it just really depends. But again, just be very mindful, and make wise decisions. And if you're not wise yet, it's okay because we're always learning and we're always getting better.
Yeah. And then if you're into luxury stuff, yeah, use it as motivation. Pero never to sacrifice your financial standing and put yourself in the red line, or yung may maipagkakait ka na tulong sa ibang tao because you need to purchase that for yourself.
Also, just like, sana to educate you guys as consumers, and I mean, Nicole and I, at the end of the day, are also consumers, of like the reason or the mindsets behind purchasing certain things. Because it should be something done with a lot of intention. Because at the end of the day, you spend your time working to earn yourself money, and it would be so sayang if you spend that hard-earned money on something that doesn't even bring you real joy, and that's just time wasted. Which is such a sad thing. And we want you guys to live your life to the fullest, and really put your money to what will bring you joy, hopefully. And if that is luxury at the end of the day, go for it. Basta it brings you joy from an authentic place, not from a place na you're just going along because of peer pressure.
Or so that you can join the rat race.
Yes.
As you called it.
It really is.
Oh, race to the line.
Yeah.
The Chanel line. Your line.
The next season, may bago naman.
So let us know in the comment section below. Actually, feeling ko may mga hindi pa kami na-tackle in this episode.
Yeah.
Pero this is the kind of episode na we just want to open or punch a hole to just a conversation around this, because I feel like in terms of consuming luxury, sobrang fast-paced ng pag-churn out ng content and pag-consume natin ng content na, like, is it still healthy?
Yeah.
Are we still okay? How do we perceive it at this point? Diba? Like, are you one of those people who felt pressure or feel pressure just like we did before? We want to know your thoughts, like where you're coming from. We would like to expand this dialogue because we found out in this episode na very similar kami ni Kat about it. Like, I wish one of us had a problem. Like, sis, I have a consuming problem. Yun na nga. Diba? Na, I wish may nag-iba sa amin dito pero wala. Pareho kami masyado ng pattern. So, we would like to hear from you guys para maging eye-opening din. Oo. Especially when it comes to yung mga financial concerns din. Diba? Like, paano pagka yung what you're earning is just enough.
Yeah, to
diba?
make ends meet.
Oo, tapos are you someone who is at the same time frustrated with purchasing one for just to feel din yung level of success. Ganon.
Or maybe you don't even want to like own one yourself, but you just love the fantasy of being shared, like that content of seeing it being unboxed and seeing it being owned. Like,
I think it's a natural thing to want. To and it's important to want. Kasi if nagka-time na I didn't want things masyado, na hindi na ako ganun ka-motivated.
Minsan mag-motivate talaga yun.
Kasi minsan kung parang it's better to want things kasi biglang, okay, I'll accept lahat, tanggapin natin ng trabaho, yung gano'n.
May giggle factor.
May giggle factor kasi, sige, isip pa ako ng business. Yung gano'n.
Yeah.
So, it's also nice to want. Wag lang in sacrifice of a part of your life.
Yeah,
Yun.
I agree. And we did touch on a few things here, whether it be like the use of one's money, the illusion on social media.
And breaking that fantasy.
Yeah, the fantasy or the perception of people. So if there's anything of those categories that specifically spoke to you guys or something that you want us to delve into further, like let us know. We would be really happy to explore that. As Nick said, this is something that's a very broad. It's almost like the opening to a very broad
like
subject.
We barely touch the surface, like scratch the surface talaga. So I feel like we really need to talk about it, guys.
Yeah.
Kasi medyo intense
It
din
bleeds
talaga
into
siya.
a lot of different things, especially in this economy.
Yeah. So please do drop your comments. Even
Yeah.
send us an email. Dear Kat and Nicole, we want to receive your emails. Just share it with us, guys, because we want to make this discussion richer.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we didn't contribute as much to this issue.
Because we're almost same perspective on this issue. Be nice to hear from you guys and enrich that.
Yeah, so that we could make another episode out of it. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for spending your time with us, guys. Don't forget to say hi on our social media platforms. That's Two Steps Back Podcast on Facebook community page and also Instagram. And if you do want to submit a question or send us a letter, dear Ate Nicole,
Please
and Ate
habaan
Kat.
nyo. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we really
Ibuhos
do.
nyo lahat.
Alam nyo, kilig kaming dalawa. Like, we'll send each other the comments that you guys send and we'll
And
get all
messages.
kilig about it. And then when I was abroad, Nix was telling me like how some of you even approached her if you saw her and were like, oh my gosh, we watch your podcast. And I was super kilig with her as well. So, sobrang appreciate namin yung support nyo, tsaka yung feedback, and just the interactions in general. So keep them coming. We love you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.